Hello world, Mr. Resistor here, continuing our alpha journey. Um, and I totally forgot to hit the record button when I started playing today. Um, but that's fine. I went through the patch notes for today, uh, March 18th, 2026, about the Catalyst major update. The main relevant thing for me is Society of Conscious Thought ships are getting a 20% damage nerf to weapon damage, not drones. So that might mean that if you're using a Praxis to run certain sites, that um, like event combat sites, like for Crimson Harvest and Winter Nexus, Praxis might not be a viable choice for those anymore. I don't know. Um, Hard to say. They're certainly going to be slower. So if you're in a DPS race, you're almost certainly going to lose. Um, that was likely going to be the case before, and it's going to be even worse now. The Metamorphosis, which is the other one that I use, doesn't really change my opinion of it, I don't think. I think that's going to be about the same. Um, I did originally fit it as as a combat ship to try and do um, like scan down combat sites or combat anomalies, but I've ended up not using it for that. It's not particularly good at combat. Um, it is good at scanning, so that's what I've been actually using it for, and I'll probably continue to use it for that. Um, anyway, we have rejoined faction warfare and are doing an L1 faction warfare mission because those are supposed to not cost us um, faction rep anymore. I'm using my Rifter that I had some success with in faction warfare when I was doing it previously. Actually killed a fleet issue visual widget with it, so that was cool. Let's these. All right, okay, we are armor tanked, so that's fine. Go ahead and orbit this guy at 10. Because we are an artillery ship. Hopefully we're going to be okay here. We'll see. Um, can do faction warfare L1 missions. In a destroyer. So that might even be a good idea. Alright. Let us jump out before we take hull damage. Or too much hull damage, I should say. I don't think we'll be able to dock up.
Permission requested.
Nope.
Docking request denied.
But we can at least heal up a bit. Recharge our cap. And then warp back in. So, artillery does less damage than autocannons, so that's one problem. I also have 3 guns instead of the, I think it's 7 that I would have on the Thrasher. So probably Fleet Issue Thrasher is what I want for this mission. But for now, this is what we're here with. If we lose it, then we will make ourselves another ship. So far, so good, though. Alright. We return.
Warp drive active.
Alright, so quick refresher on all these faction warfare sites, if you're not familiar. Small tells you... small, medium, scout, etc. tells you the maximum size of the ship. Scout means frigates, small means destroyers, medium means cruisers, large I believe is battle cruisers, and open is battleships. Battlefields are open. The number that follows it tells you the maximum number of ships you can have with you doing that site in order to get full rewards. If you have more than that, the rewards will be reduced. What's my range here? It's like 18. Okay. So I'm orbiting at 10. Hopefully this fire I'm spewing doesn't increase my signature radius. That's shield warning, but I'm armor tanked, so... Alright. Destroy all enemies in the vicinity. I don't know if that includes these bestowers. I assume it must, since I'm not getting credit for completing it yet, so... But... I don't know, they're not actively targeting me or something, so... This guy is not flashing orange, so I assume I just have him marked as a member of a pirate corporation. Or a ganker corporation. Hopefully he doesn't jump in on me. I believe this beacon can be scanned down. I don't know if it's actually, like, visible. I don't normally hunt for PvP, so I don't know exactly how the mechanics are for that. All right. Orbit him at 5, I guess. Maybe some more combat ships will pop out. Hard to say. I also should probably have brought some, I think it's Quake. Is the higher damage ammo, I believe. No, Tremor. Tremor is the other one for artillery. I can never remember which one is the range and which is the damage. Or maybe tracking. I don't know. I don't use artillery that much anymore. Back in the day with just my original character, I did use artillery a fair amount. Because I kind of like, just in general, standing off and being a sniper. That's how I tend to play in a lot of games. There we go. Go to 2500. That should keep us within optimal range and maybe speed this up a little bit.
A module has run out of charges.
Can we tighten this up a little more? There we go. transshipman, midshipman, sergeant. I believe midshipmen are only useful to sell, basically. But sergeant are needed to make stuff. Or trade for stuff, I guess. Would be a more accurate way to put it.
A module has run out of charges.
Right. Now, since we're... Ooh. Let us check out the scout site. Scan first. Nobody's in there.
Warp drive active.
Alright, so first things first, we want to get away from the warp in. Because this ship is built for kiting, not brawling. And as long as there are other ships in system, we want to keep pinging this so that we'll have a little bit of warning if anyone decides to try and jump in on us. Don't forget to reload. Right, so this is a 10-minute capture. We should have, I don't know, 4 or 5 waves of NPCs. and the NPCs will pause the clock until I take them out. So we're looking at maybe 15 minutes to capture this, assuming nothing goes wrong. This one, I don't think will give significant LP. Just because of where it is, it'll be better than defending a Minmatar rearguard site. I don't think it's going to be huge. But also, it's been a long time since I did faction warfare, so I don't know what the payouts look like these days. Go. Let them finish warp again before we could target them. Don't forget to reload. And actually, can I? If I remember correctly, I thought there was a way to use nanite repair paste to repair hull damage, but maybe not. Maybe that's just heat damage to modules. Whenever I've tried overheating, it's pretty much always gone bad for me. So, I don't really know those mechanics very well. And we let these guys finish warping in. So for my D-scan, get it set to 360 degrees, and 1 AU, you can do the lowest setting too, which I think is 0.1. That's fine. Especially if there's other sites that are nearby, but that's not the case this time. Basically, you just want to know if someone pops up on that gate. And that's why I'm kind of spamming it. Yeah, what's our timer? About 3.5 minutes left. Probably closer to 5 because we should be getting at least one more wave of NPCs. And don't forget to reload. Uh, Oh yeah. So the other thing about the major update is, right. So they made changes to a bunch of ships, um, ones that I don't fly on this character. Mostly carriers. That's the big thing. Um, Basically trying to make those a little bit better and address some of the complaints about them, as expected. One last wave. This should be the last wave. um, the Black Ops and Recon ships have been nerfed a bit. Um, the other major thing is a bunch of quality of life improvements for Pochven. So Pochven is Triglavian space, um, which I have never been to, not even on other characters. Don't forget to reload. Um, but I'm thinking about trying it out. I was watching a Loru video the other day, and he was saying that salvage in Pochven can be lucrative. So, thought I might give that a shot. But, since, awesome. 100 LP. Hell yeah. That's what we get for doing sights in the rear guard. That said, that was 100 LP. Um, I think if we spot another in a system that's not too busy,
Warp drive active.
that's too much red for my comfort. Again, probably just members of a corp that ganks. Um, so maybe dangerous, maybe not. But I don't feel like risking it. I do need 7 more kills though. And doing another scout site will give me at least 8. Alright. These neutral are not necessarily safe. But
Warp drive
um,
active.
so they could be gankers, or they could be miners, just out here getting some Kernite or Ober, or Jaspit, perhaps. All right, we'll bump that down. Nobody's here.
Warp drive active.
So this will get us our kills. We've already completed the mission. There's nothing we need to bring back, so there's no significant loss if we die. We just get back to heck faster. Alright, once again, we want to get away from the warp endpoint. This guy's warp scramming me? I don't remember that happening before. Crazy. I feel like that's new. Don't forget to reload. What's the timer? There it is. Alright, so again, about 15 minutes to capture this. If we include the combat. The bigger sites can take a little bit longer, if I remember correctly. Medium takes about 15. I believe the clock is 15 minutes for medium. And then Battlefield is points based. You hold you have to hold specific sites by having at least one ship within, I think it's 30 kilometers. There are 3 of those sites. And basically it has to be only friendly ships within it in order for it to cycle and slowly give you points. The side that gets to, I believe it's 100 first wins, and if it's contested, then your opponents will be able to, take away points. There's like a meter for which side it's on. But I think if you get to 100 points, it's considered captured for your side. Again, I don't remember the warp scrams being a thing. So that's something to consider. In the past, you only had to worry about getting warp scrambled by player characters who jumped in on you. But it seems that is no longer the case. So again, we'll see 4 or 5 waves. We've defeated 2 of them already. I recall it used to be a little bit inconsistent whether you'd get 4 or 5. It might be consistently 5 now. I feel like I might prefer that, since it'll be easier to plan out. Like if I, like today, if I have a kill non-capsuleers task, if I remember for the LP payouts, frontline sites in frontline systems in enemy space pay out the most. Then I believe it's frontline systems in your own space. Then, was it the one back from frontline? I don't remember what it's called right now. I believe those are a bit less. With ones in enemy territory counting for more, and then rear guard where we're at now. Like rear guard Minmatar sites might not even give us LP. I don't remember. And of course, like I said, it's been a while, so even if I did remember, it might be wrong. Seeing a lot of larger sites. I can't remember if when I explained this before, if I was recording or not. So I'll do it again. NVY stands for Navy. That means you can bring T1 or Navy ships of up to the appropriate size in. The number which follows is the maximum number of ships you can have in your team in order to get maximum LP payouts. If you have more than that, you will get less. But that's only number of ships that are in the site at the time that it is completed. So obviously, in the case of all of these, it's 1. Used to be 1 and 5 were the ones you would typically see. There were some pirate sites that were 10, and then battlefields are 30. So I said Navy means T1 and Navy ships. Advanced means T2 ships. Scout means frigates or smaller. Small means destroyers. Medium means cruisers. I believe large means battle cruisers. And open means anything. Where? You know what? He's not even in the area. So just let him be. We need to stay within, I believe it's 25 or 30 of this tower, the outpost. As long as this guy remains outside of that radius, he's not affecting, right? Because this is still counting down. I don't know if him being alive will prevent the next wave from spawning, but we should be getting it at about 1 minute. So, real soon. Oh, yeah. Don't forget to reload. One thing to remember with all of these faction warfare missions is they have considerable travel distance. Pretty much always. Because you're always going to an enemy system, usually in the rear guard. So even if you're taking it from a base that's in even a frontline system, you're probably still going to be jumping at least 5 systems just to get to the mission. It looks like his continued existence does block the spawn. So that's one of the things you could do in battlefields to keep to keep from new waves spawning in on the sites you're supposed to capture. Keep one, usually battle cruiser, alive, and just make sure that it stays outside of the capture radius. Okay, another glorious 100 LP. I remember when that was giving thousands. Ah, he left. I was hoping I could chase him down. Alright, well, anyway.
Warp drive active.
Now we go to turn in our mission. And let's go ahead and claim these while we're jumping.
Warp drive active.
At this point, I mean, obviously I'd prefer not to die, but I'm not particularly concerned about it. It just means I'll get back to heck faster. Have to build a new ship anyway, so...
Warp drive active. 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 Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Alright. 157 LP, baby. But, you know, it's our first day back, so let's go ahead and repair. And we will unload these. And I think tomorrow we will make ourselves a Thrasher and do another one of these missions. Anyway, that's going to be it for me for today. So until next time, have a good one.